then we'll do that. Another tomorrow at 11. Okay, on today's agenda, Rabbi, so I'd like to spend some time on the Rashbam, top Rashbam, Kov Chav Dalet Amrav, and then move on to the Rambam, and time allowing, perhaps, to go to the Ramah on in Reish Ayin Ches. Okay, let's first, Rabbi said, please give a quick look through the Gemara about 5 lines from bottom on Kov Chav Gimel Beis. Niach lemavim para muchkaras muskaras b'yadachem. V'shloitzu roba apu b'yolda b'chornoto b'shnai. Pashta muchkaras muskaras labrishus Gemara didhu kaima. Amit shakal roba apu nibai. Hakamash malon the muchkaras muskaras tum yodor roba apu. Meaning muchkaras muskaras and b'chor only gets b'shnai in a situation of muchkaras muskaras that is similar, that's parallel to roba apu, i.e., a case that just like roba apu or shibka melech asi. Just like Rob Apple, when the cow's in the meadow, it's Shibcha de Memela. After all, there's nobody investing effort. The cow on its own is grazing from the pasture of Hefker. So similarly, Muchkaras and Muskaras, when is it that Muchkaras and Muskaras will get Mishnayim? It's Shibcha de Memela, as opposed to if the Yisomim are feeding it, then the Bukhar will not get the Shnayim. And the Gemara continues, Mani Rebbe. Who's the author of this brisa? After all, that was a brisa that we've been discussing. So the Gemara, this is Rebbe. Titania, Ein b'chor no top yishnayim, v'shevach sheshivchu nechasim la'achim yisavim. B'chor does not get yishnayim, and the shevach sheshivchu nechasim la'achim yisavim. That's the opinion of the Tanakh of Chachamim. Rebbe Omer Ani, b'chor no top yishnayim, v'shevach sheshivchu nechasim la'achim yisavim. The b'chor does get yishnayim, v'shevach sheshivchu nechasim la'achim yisavim. So the Brisa distinguishes between Shevach Shivchu Nechasim Lachem Misavim, if that Shevach was on its own, and the Shevach Sheshpichu Yisomim Lachem Misavim. What, by the way, would the din be if it's not the Yisomim and not by itself? If there's somebody else that, for whatever reason, invests effort and brings about the profit. Would the Bukhar get Pishnayim? Would the Bukhar not get Pishnayim? That's something we might discuss in the continuation. At the very first glance, we might assume that the Bukhar would not get Pishnayim, because after all, why is it that the Bukhar doesn't get Pishnayim in the case? Why is it the Bukhar doesn't get Pishnayim in the event that it's Shevach Sheshivchu Yisomim? So one could give a couple of explanations, but one explanation we might give is that if the Yisomim needed to be involved to bring about that Shevach, then that Shevach is not viewed as blank, but it's viewed as blank. Let me say that statement again, and someone will fill in those blanks. If the Shevach is Shibcha Dimimela, then we'll say that although the father wasn't actually holding on to that, but hey, it's an extension of what the father held on to, and that Shevach, Rebbe is of the opinion that if it came about without any investment of effort of the Yisomim, if it's, let's say, small fruits which go into big fruits, that's something that Rebbe will say is considered to be muchzak. But if the Yisomim invested effort, then it's something which is not viewed as having been, please help me, not viewed as being muchzak by the father. Rather, it's something should be viewed as.
So the father's asking to be taken care of.
If the father, if it's something which came about through the Yisomim's investing effort, then it's not viewed as muchzak, it's viewed as something new. What do you call something new which wasn't there in the hands of the father? That's called.
You end up answering
Right, thank you. That's called roy. So if it's something Shevach Sheshpichu Yisomim, it's called roy. That's the pashtus, and if that's the case, so one might say that not only is Shevach Sheshpichu Yisomim, but also if there's anybody else that brings about that Shevach, it's not going to be in the category of Shechim B'chot Memela, and everybody will be. Even Rebbe, the B'chor doesn't get Mishnah. So in any case, just that last point. The Brisa distinguishes between Shevach, the Brisa that we read, distinguishes, Rebbe says that Shevach Shivchu Nechasam Nachmi Bechor does get. Shevach Shivchu Yisom Nachmi Savian, the Bechor does not get. Why that distinction? So one explanation, although there might be others, is that if the Nechasim on their own, without any investment of human effort, become worth more, then that's also viewed as muhsa. Though the father did not have a firm hold on that, but the father had a firm hold on that which by itself produced the profit, and that's called a muhsa. There's something that the Yisomim invest effort in, then what results is viewed as something new. Oh, something new is under the heading of Ra'ud. And Bechor doesn't get Bishnaim on a Ra'ud. Matzeh lo says the Torah. Matzeh, Prat, Le, Ra'ud. That's one way of understanding the Gemara. One might understand that that which Bechor doesn't get Bishnaim in Shevach Sheshpichu Yisomim is something which is unique. That which Yisomim invest the effort, the Bechor doesn't get Bishnaim. Yisomim invest the effort, then there's no reason why the Bechor should get Bishnaim. Yisomim invest the effort on that. Okay, maybe we'll come back to that at some point, but that's certainly enough for now. Okay. In any case, the Gemara explained the bottom of Kimmel, going back to Kofel, the Gemara explained that although I could learn Roba Afar, that the Bechor gets Bishnaim from the case of Muskeres and Muchzekas, Muskeres and Muchkeres, but nevertheless, Roba Afar is there to shed light on Muchkeres and Muskeres, to tell us that not in all cases by Muchkeres and Muskeres does the Bechor get Bishnaim, only cases that are parallel to Roba Afar, with no effort being invested by the Yisomim, only in cases where the Yisomim aren't feeding that Muchkeres and Muskeres cow. If they are, then the Bechor is not going to get Bishnaim. Okay. Now the Rashbam raises the question, hey, wonderful. So explain to me why you need Roba Afar. But now the question becomes, why do you need Muchkeres and Muskeres? After all, once I know Roba Afar, I know that the Bechor is going to get Bishnaim, and he also knows he's only going to get Bishnaim in cases where there's no effort invested on the part of the Yisomim. So I can figure out Muchkeres and Muskeres. So what role is played by Muchkeres and Muskeres? That is the question raised by the Rashbam. That question is a bit strange for reasons we will. That question is a bit strange because, after all, the Gemara itself did indicate that there's some chiddush in Muchkeres and Muskeres, which doesn't exist by Roba Afar. What's that chiddush by Muchkeres and Muskeres? Muchkeres and Muskeres is, after all, a case that is lam reshus. Roba Afar is. So how could the Rashbam say, leave out Muchkeres and Muskeres? Before you need Muchkeres and Muskeres, in light of the fact that Muchkeres and Muskeres has a chiddush, i.e. the fact that the Bechor gets Bishnaim, even though you would have said, even though it's La Ber Shusa. So the Rashbam's question is a funny question, and at some point, and hopefully we'll get back to that. But for now, let's try to just try to get the big picture. So it says Rashbam, hey, once we're told Roba Afar, what do I need Muchkeres and Muskeres? And says Rashbam, the following. Had I just known Roba Afar, so true, had I just known Roba Afar, I wouldn't know Muchkeres and Muskeres. Because after all, Roba Afar is a case where there's no human effort that's invested. There's no human effort that's invested over here, and therefore the Bechor gets Bishnaim. And I would learn from there that whenever there's no human effort, then, according to Rabbi, the Bechor gets Bishnaim. But Muchkeres and Muskeres, I would have thought that even in the case where the Yisomim are not feeding it, even if the food is coming from the Mechok and the Socher, even if food is coming from the pasture, I would have said that there is human effort that's bringing about the Shevach. What's the human effort that's bringing about the Shevach? Not necessarily the food, but human effort in the form of the Choker and the Socher working the animal. The Choker and the Socher, they're working the animal. And that is producing the Shevach. what that means is producing the Sheva, that we could think about in a bit. But there's human effort that's involved in producing the Sheva, and that would have said, thus I would have said that it ain't similar to, it's not similar. I wouldn't know it from the case of
Raw Bafer.
Rob. I would have said that whenever there's any human involvement, whenever there's any effort invested, whether it be in the form of food or in the form of the work that's necessary to produce the profit, the Bechor doesn't get Bishnayim. So Rashbam asked, what do I need Mukhkaras and Muskaras? Answer, without Mukhkaras and Muskaras, I would say that we learn from Rabbi Afar, after all, that whenever there's a human effort, that's not called anymore Shibcha. Please help me, it's not called anymore Shibcha De. Whenever there's human effort, it ain't called Shibcha.
So Mela.
The Mela. And thus the Bechor doesn't get Bishnayim. And certainly I would know from there that the Bechor is not going to get Bishnayim, Mukhkaras, and Muskaras, and Yisomim are providing the food. But hey, says Rashbam, I would think that a Mukhkaras and Muskaras, even if the Yisomim are not providing the food, still it's not Shibcha D'Memela. Because after all, Mukhkaras and Muskaras, even if it's not the food that the Yisomim are providing, but there is some human effort that's bringing the Sheva. And thus it's not Shibcha D'Memela. What's the human effort? The choker, the socher, working with the animal. And since it's the choker and socher is working with the animal that's producing the profit, the Bechor, I would have said, would not get Bishnayim. Kamash Malan, the Brisa, big news. Mukhkaras and Muskaras, the Bechor does get Bishnayim. As long as the some are not providing the food, Bechor will get Bishnayim. Why? Because, hey, true, there's human effort, but it ain't the blank that's investing that effort. It ain't the Yisomim that's investing the effort. Rather, it is just the Choker and the Socha. So Choker and the Socha, they're investing that effort. So again, the question was, what do you need Mukhkaras and Muskaras? Answer, I said Mukhkaras and Muskaras, if it just said Rabbi Apar, would never get Bishnayim, regardless of who's feeding it. Because after all, I know from Rabbi Apar that whenever it's human effort, it's not called Shibcha D'Memela. Mukhkaras and Muskaras, there's human effort. They're working with animal. That's producing the Sheva. And thus, the Bechor shouldn't get Bishnayim. That's true, there's human effort, but it ain't human effort of the Yisomim. It's only the human effort of the Choker and the Soch. That is the big picture of, that's the Rashbam, that's the overview of the Rashbam. Let's look at that inside Rabbosai, and we'll then discuss it a little bit more. Af Mukhkaras and Muskaras, B'Shibcha D'Memela Kamari, they Malala HaYisomim Mizotz. In Tomar, listening, we're on the Rashbam, top of Kuf Chavdal Armara. In Tomar, listening, Rob Akvar, Ba'ani Adana, to Adil Mukhkaras and Muskaras, Echad Lo Mechashim Mizoni. But also no cases of Rob Akvar, of Lo Mechashim Mizoni. Lovely listening, Mukhkaras and Muskaras, Klal. The Itzrach to Rob Akvar, Lamed Alehem. Right? Why write Mukhkaras and Muskaras? Which can't exist, which the Brisa wouldn't be able to write on its own without writing Rob Afar. Just write Rob Afar. So again, lovely listen, Mukhkaras and Muskaras, Klal, the Itzrach to Rob Afar, Lamed Alehem, Lo Chasim Mizoni Mari. Answers Rashbam, Itzrach. Tak Tachamina, Ho Mukhkaras and Muskaras, Lo Shibcha D'Memela, Ala Yedei Bnei Adam Shachor Shim Ba'ovdim Ba. Mukhkaras and Muskaras, says the Rashbam, after points out the Rashbam, Mukhkaras and Muskaras, there is some human effort. What's that human effort? That the Choker and the Socher are plowing. Hey, is that plowing of the Choker and the Socher, is that what's bringing about the shevach? Is the plowing what's bringing about the shevach? Well, what shevach are we talking about over here? If the shevach we're talking about is the vlad, is the plowing what's about the vlad? No. The shevach which we're talking about is the rent money, the mechakiris and schiris. That perhaps that somehow is being brought about by the work. That is being brought about by the work, and this line of the Rashbam indicates to us that he understood that muchkaras and muskaras. The top of the discussion is the rent money, the mechakiris and schiris, rather than just the vlad. After all, had we been talking about the vlad, it would be incorrect to say that it's the work which is bringing about the profit. Okay, that was parenthetical. So in any case, says Rashbam, had the Bryson not told me muchkaras and muskaras, I would know it altogether. So say muchkaras and muskaras, the profit is coming about through the effort of the Bnei Adam that are chorshin ba, va'obdim ba. V'lo lishko ba b'chor pishnayim. Kamash malan that the b'chor does get pishnayim. But hey, why does the b'chor get pishnayim? B'chor is a good taina. That the b'chor shouldn't get pishnayim is human effort. Says Rashbam, well, the chayvin da hayisomim asmam en chorsh behem, bein torchem behem, ela achirim, shimchlub melech hashvin lei, hechen ban lam mizonos. So the Rashbam, well, hey, true, there's human effort, but it ain't the Yisomim. So the Rashbam sounds like as long as that the Yisomim invest in the effort, B'chor will get paid. So in summary, I need muchkaras and muskaras to tell me that even though there is human effort, nevertheless B'chor is going to get pishnayim, and why in fact that's so, like the effort of the Rashbam would seem to indicate that if there's effort that comes minela, Rebbe says B'chor gets pishnayim, and who did this human effort, but it's not the effort of the Yisomim, B'chor would get paid pishnayim. Why that would be so? That if others invest effort, the B'chor would get pishnayim, would be included in the Shibukah de Meila. That's something that maybe we'll come back to at some other point. Now, mamish very briefly and parenthetically, I would say, at first glance, you would guess that the Rashbam holds that also you would guess that the Rashbam holds that there's a special rule that when the Yisomim invest effort, that's mafkia it from there's a special category of shevach sheshpichu Yisomim. The B'chor doesn't get pishnayim. But say, hey, when the Yisomim invest effort, then the B'chor doesn't get pishnayim due to the fact that hey, it's their work, so they should equally share the B'chora. They should equally share the benefit. But you know what? I'm sorry. Let me hold off with that. Let's just say maybe it's some other point. We'll come back to that. But let's just say the Rashbam seems to indicate that lamaskana, long as the Yisomim are not investing the effort, it will be under the heading of Shimcha B'nei. And the B'chor will get pishnayim. There was a Havamina. Rabbi said that whenever there's any human effort, the B'chor doesn't get pishnayim. But lamaskana, once we're told muchkaras and muskaras, the B'chor will get pishnayim as long as it's not the Yisomim that are investing that effort. Are we on the same page? More or less, I will say. Okay. That's the Rashbam. A number of points on the Rashbam, Rabbos. Muchkaras and muskaras. Now let's just isolate a number of points in the Rashbam, which are going to be discussing points which don't necessarily relate to the big picture, but a number of points in the Rashbam that I think are worthy of discussing. Muchkaras and muskaras, says Rashbam, the profit comes through what? Through whom? Through human effort. Is that the case? Is that truly so? Comes about through human effort? Is that true both by muchkeres and muskeres? I would have said it's true of X, not of Y. Can anybody spell out what the X and Y is?
True of Mukhkeres, not of Muskeres.
It's true of muchkeres, not of muskeres. What do I mean? What is a muskeres? Muskeres is that I rent it out to you for $10 a month. I rented out the cow for $10 a month. So hey, and I think Yehuda, you asked this question back. That in the case of muskeres, is the fact that the socher is working with the cow, is that what's producing the profit? Let's say one rents a cow and he decides to let the cow out in the pasture and graze. It doesn't work with that cow. Will the guy that, will the socher need to pay? Of course he will. The fact that he didn't use it, you rent a car and decide to leave it in the garage. Do you need to pay? You need to pay. Of course you need to pay. So what's Rashba mean when he says that chakirus and schirus, the profit comes about through human effort, of the fact that people are working with it? What the people are so which I understand is true of, it's certainly true of chakirus. Because after all, what is chakirus? Rashbam said that the choker needs to give part of the profit. You rent your choker a cow, and that cow helps to produce some crops. So you give a certain percentage of those crops to the machir.
We're answering. No.
Is that somebody? Is that just stop background noise and somebody asks some question?
Well,
It's just background noise. Okay. In any case, so by chakirus, I understand that which Rashbam said, that there's some human effort. By schirus, that doesn't seem to be the case. So the only thing which I could come up with at this point is I would say that the Rashbam would tell us that maybe muchkeres, that maybe muskeres is mentioned agav muchkeres. After all, again, the Rashbam's question, why do you need to tell me muchkeres muskeres? Says the Rashbam, I need muchkeres and muskeres due to the fact that in muchkeres and muskeres the profit came about. I need muchkeres and muskeres to tell me that even when there's human effort, as long as it's not the yisomim, the buchar is going to get pishnai. So maybe what the Rashbam wants to say is that I need muchkeres to tell me that chiddush. Muskeres is perhaps just a tag along to muskeres, perhaps just a tag along to muchkeres. Guys, hear that?
Repeat the question.
Rabbi, is it possible to suggest that in a normal case when someone rents a cow, his whole plan is to end up paying the person back with the profit he makes off the cow? That's just a normal assumption?
Yes, but the question is whether that would be enough of a basis to think that it's not called, that's not called Shibcha de Memela. So it shouldn't be called Shibcha de Memela due to the fact that that was his intention. Maybe, I can't swear that that's wrong, but it seems to be a little bit odd. So in any case, what I'm suggesting is
Could I repeat the question?
If the chiddush is muchkeres, or muskeres is just a tag along. Yeah?
Could I repeat the question? What the question was?
The Rashbam says that there's a special chiddush in muchkeres and muskeres. I don't know from Rambam. After all, muchkeres and muskeres, says Rashbam, the gain, the shavach is coming about through the effort of the through human efforts, through the fact that people they're working with this animal. Is that true that the profit is coming about through people working with the animal? In the case of muchkeres, yes. In the case of muskeres, no.
Why not?
If I rent you a car and you decide to leave that car in the garage, and then a month later you return that car, and I ask you, okay, that should cost you $2,000 for renting the car. And you respond, I don't need to pay. I left the car in the garage. You need to pay the rent or not need to pay the rent? Need to pay the rent. So why does the Rashbam say that rent money is shivcha? It's called shivcha de memele. Why does the Rashbam indicate that is rent money is something which comes about through human effort? What human effort? So I suggested that maybe the Rashbam doesn't mean to say that both muhkaras and muskaras is human effort, rather by muhkaras is human effort, but by muskaras not. If in fact you guys are willing to buy that, and you guys all muted yourselves, so I assume you all buy that, you all accept that. Shtika kehoda. Kalanchi didn't like that. In any case, so perhaps one could answer the question sort of raised by the Rashash. The Rashash pointed out that chakirus, normally in Bab Metzia, when the Gemara speaks of a choker is an individual. If I'm machkir my field to you, normally the way it works is that you give me a certain amount of grain, regardless of whether the field produces that grain or not. A chakirus arrangement is one that I'm giving you my field, and at the end of the year you have to give me 100 bushels, regardless of the 100 bushels. Come to the field, don't come to the field, you work the field, didn't work the field. So why does the Rashbam over here explain chakirus differently than he normally does? So why does he explain that over here chakirus is lamachtzis schar, that a certain half or a certain percentage of the profit from the field goes to the balabais, goes to the father. Why does he explain that fashion? Answer, he has to explain such a fashion. Because after all, in order to answer the question which he has in Kuf Chav Dal Aleph, he has to say, in the case of a choker, by choker and socher, at least by choker, the profit is coming through human effort. So hey, in order to say that by chakirus, at least, the profit is coming through human effort, you have to say that what's the arrangement? That the arrangement is that the choker is giving a certain percentage of what results from the work. If it's like a normal choker, that at the beginning of the arrangement, the beginning of the year, the beginning of the month, there's an agreement that the choker is going to give $100. It's going to give 100 bushels, regardless of whether you work the field, don't work the field. Then just like schirus ain't called shevach that comes from human effort, also chakirus. In which case, the Rashbam's whole explanation of why it needed to say muchkaras and muskaras would go down the drain. So the Rashbam needed to say that muchkaras and muskaras is okay. So just to summarize that last point, we just explained that muchkaras and muskaras, the Rashbam says, is that there's human effort involved. We said that's mainly true of muchkaras more than by muskaras, and we then explained that which by muchkaras, it is called that there's human effort. That's something which only makes sense if you explain muchkaras the way that the Rashbam did on the Kuf Chav Gimel Amud Beis. Okay. Now, another distinct point in the Rashbam that I'd like to address is the following. The Marshal, the Marsha, and I saw the Pnei Shlomo as well, they raise a difficulty that stares us in the face with the Rashbam's initial question. The Rashbam had asked, hey, granted I need ro ba'afar, but what do I need muchkaras and muskaras? And anybody that reads the Gemara with his eyes open asks, that's a strange question. Of course you need muchkaras and muskaras. Muchkaras and muskaras teaches us that even though it's la b'rshusa, nevertheless the b'chor gets pishnayim. Nevertheless the b'chor gets pishnayim. That's what the Gemara indicated. The special chiddush muchkaras and muskaras above and beyond ro ba'afar. So how could the Rashbam ask that muchkaras muskaras is superfluous. Right? Or to phrase it differently, the Gemara says, once I have X, muchkaras muskaras, what do I need Y? The Gemara answered, after all, asked the Gemara, muchkaras muskaras, that's a chiddush. Well, Y doesn't seem to be a chiddush. What do you need Y? The Gemara answered that question. Then the Rashbam says, okay, I understand that you need Y, but why do you need X? What do you mean the Gemara said? The Gemara explained why you need X. Okay, that's what we'll address now. So I saw the Pnei Shlomo has a certain approach. At the end of Shiur yesterday, I mentioned that the Marshal has a certain approach, but let's put that on the side. The Pnei Shlomo has a certain approach, which I'd like to share with you. Let's point out the following. And I think, by the way, we're not going to discuss this explicitly, but I think that this Pnei Shlomo could also answer the question, which I WhatsApped guys after Shiur. So the Pnei Shlomo, I believe, has the following. Let's point out the following. Muchkaras and muskaras, there are two chidushim, if you will, in muchkaras and muskaras. One chidush is that the bechor gets pishnayim in the animal itself. One might have said the bechor should not get pishnayim, even the animal itself. Why not? Because one might have said that muchkaras and muskaras is lav so, and thus is considered to be, in one word, begins with a reish.
Right.
Roy, and not muchzik. That's one chiddush. Another chiddush is that the bechor will get bishnayim not only in the animal itself, but also in the profit. When that profit is the blood, or the profit is the rent money. So you have in a certain sense double chiddush in muchkaras and muskaras. Also with respect to the animal itself, that the animal itself is not called roy, it's called muchzak, and also with respect to the profit of the rent money. Okay. Now, if you would ask us, are these both chidushim? We'd say, yeah, they're both chidushim. The man off the street wouldn't necessarily know that this is called the muchzak. He might have thought that it's called roy. But says the Pnei Shlomo, who, by the way, is the author of the Pnei Shlomo, Rav Shlomo Gansfried, the author, same author as the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. So the Pnei Shlomo says the following. Objectively speaking, the fact that the bechor does get pishnayim in the animal itself, that's somewhat of a chiddush. But the Tana, did the Tana consider that to be a significant chiddush? One could prove that the Tana, the Brisa, did not consider that to be a significant chiddush. How can one prove that? Well, if you take a look at the original Brisa, the Brisa says, Tan Rabbana, Bechor no tel pishnayim, v'zro l'chaim b'keva, u'v'shevach sheshivchu l'chasam la'achim misis aviyah. Keitzad, ha'iselo par muchkaras u'muskaras v'chulei. So, with respect to Zro l'chaim b'keva, that is something that the Brisa is coming to tell us, the Bechor gets pishnayim, despite the fact you would have thought that it is roy. Comes along the Brisa and says, no, that's not roy, that's muchzik. Because of makeri kuna, whatever it is. But then the Brisa then moved on to another topic. So what context does the Brisa write the din of muchkaras and muskaras? Not at the beginning of the Brisa, when it's telling you big news. There's certain things which you thought were roy, but really the muchzik. Rather, in what context does the Brisa write the din of muchkaras and muskaras? In the context of v'shevach sheshivchu nechasim la'acham yisyaver. In that context, the Brisa writes it. So the implication is that the Brisa, the author of the Brisa, didn't consider that to be so much of a chidush, that muchkaras and muskaras is muchzak and not roy. After all, in what context does the author of the Brisa write the din of muchkaras and muskaras? In the context of shevach sheshivchu nechasim la'achim yisavir, i.e., not the animal itself that the bechor gets pishnayim. That the Brisa doesn't seem to be considering so much of a chiddush, but rather that the fact that the Bechor gets, rather the fact that the Bechor gets Mishnayim in the profit, whether it be the vlad, whether it be the rent money, that the Tana considers to be a Chiddush. So the Rashbam can understandably ask the question, hey, the Tana, the Brisa that doesn't seem to understand, that doesn't seem to consider it to be a Chiddush, that the animal itself is Mochzak and Roy. According to the Tana, the Brisa, that doesn't consider that to be a Chiddush. That's Mochzak, not Roy. After all, the Tana, the Brisa didn't write the din of Mukhkaras and Muskaras before it started talking about Shevach Shibchu and Chasam Nachmisavim, rather writes in the context of Shevach Shibchu Chasam Nachmisavim, and thus the Tana doesn't seem to assume that it's a Chiddush that's called Mochzak not Roy. Why did the Tana the Brisa, who doesn't consider it to be a Chiddush, Mochzak not Roy, why did the Tana the Brisa bother to write Mukhkaras and Muskaras? To tell me that the Shevach goes to that the Bechor gets to be Mishnayim the Shevach, that's something you already know from the line went dead. That's something we already know from that the Bechor gets to be Mishnayim in the Shevach. That's something you already know from. Learn from
Rabbi.
Rob Afar. That's something you already know from Rob Afar. So the Gemara itself, the man off the street would not necessarily know that a Mukhkaras and Muskaras, Mukhar gets Mishnayim. The man off the street might have thought that that's called Roy, not Mukhzak. Thus the Brisa, and thus the Gemara can understandably say, hey, if the Brisa tells me that Mukhkaras and Muskaras, which is Eino B'Rshusa, and thus I, the man of the street, would have thought the Mukhar doesn't get Mishnayim. The Brisa tells us he does get Mishnayim. Would I know Roa Ba'afar? Once the Brisa tells me Mukhkaras and Muskaras, which to me, the man of the street is a big Chiddush. Because after all, I would have said Mukhkaras and Muskaras, a la B'Rshusa, Roy, not Mosa. So if the Brisa tells me Mukhkaras and Muskaras, Mukhar gets Mishnayim. Can I learn from their Roa Ba'afar?
Yes.
Can I learn from their Roa Ba'afar? Yes, I can. So the Gemara makes sense. But the Rashbam's question also makes sense. Why does Rashbam's question make sense? Because the Rashbam is asking, the Rashbam is asking, once you have Mukhkaras, or once you have Roa Ba'afar, what do you need Mukhkaras and Muskaras? What are you going to say? To teach me that even though it's La B'Rshut Mukhar gets Mishnayim, well, it's true that the man of the street, that's a Chiddush, but the time of the Mishnah doesn't seem to be considering that a significant Chiddush. How do you consider that a significant Chiddush? Should have mentioned Roa Ba'afar before he started talking about Shevach Shibchun Chasam Nachem Yisavir. The time of the Mishnah doesn't seem to consider that a significant Chiddush. Okay, Rebels. Ad Khan with respect to Rashbam. Okay, so we had a number of interesting points in the Rashbam, but the main point of the Rashbam, of course, is that the Rashbam tells us what emerges from this discussion of the Gemara and the Rashbam is that the Bechor gets the Shnayim in Shevach Shishtikun Chasam Nachem Misavim, according to Rabbi, but only when the Yisomim don't invest effort. When the Yisomim invest effort, whether it be in the form of feeding it or in the form of building a house, as the Gemara later says, the Rashbam seems to indicate that when there's others that invest effort, then the Bechor will get Pishnayim, perhaps due to the fact that then it is included in, for some reason, included in Shevach Sheshpichun Nechasim Nacham Misas Aviyah. Okay, we are now going to switch to an unrelated topic, i.e. the Rambam. Switching to the Rambam.
Rebbe,
Okay. Yes, sir.
can I ask, why didn't the Gemara mention the Rashbam's second point. Why didn't the Gemara say the strichas of the Rashbam?
Why didn't the Gemara do that? Why didn't the Gemara do it, you're saying?
Yes.
I don't know if the Gemara would always do that, but I don't know. That's something which I'll remind me later. Belina there could give more thought to. Don't know. Good question. I have some suggestions, but as for that, I would need to think about it a little bit more until I formulate it properly. Karabosai. Switching gears, Rabosai. Rambam. Let's learn some Rambam, Hilchos, Nachos. Rambam, Hilchos, Nachos. Could somebody give me the Rambam, Hilchos, Nachos? 1 second. I'll give it to you. Yeah, but if we could start with halacha aleph. That was this sheet that is now here is halacha beis. Let's first start with halacha aleph. Halacha aleph was on yesterday's sheet. Does anybody have yesterday's sheet, David or Yisrael, or somebody else for that matter? Somebody could.
Ravi, I can't share while you're sharing.
Oh, okay. So I'll stop sharing. 2 people can't share at the same time. Stop sharing. Okay, I stopped sharing. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Says the Rambam. Ein Bukhar, thank you. Yeah. Perfect. Ein Bukhar not up Yisrael. L'chasam ru'im nav l'ach misa'ab. El l'chasam muchzak na'ab. Shmol l'shusau. Shenema Bukhar asher yimat seila. Pasuk Parshas Ketzah. Echad min morishei ha'ab shemeis l'ach misa'abik. If the father's rich uncle, or the father's father, for that matter, dies after the father dies, then the Bukhar doesn't get Bisham, because after all, the father died when he died, he didn't have that yet. Something which only comes, even comes through the father. But if it comes after the death of the father, Bukhar doesn't get Bisham. Okay. So Ketzad Echad Morishei Aviv Shemeis La'achar Misas Aviv Bukhar B'Poshet Yorshin Ke'echad. Yorshin Ke'echad, they get an equal share. The Aviv Milveh, also low in the Rambam Paskins. There's a machlok in the Gemara about this point. The Rambam Paskins that the Bukhar doesn't get Bishnayim and Milveh. After all, according to Rebbe, Bukhar gets Bishnayim and Milveh. But according to Rabbanan, at least according to one opinion within Rabbanan, the Rambam Paskins like the Bukhar doesn't get Bishnayim and Milveh. Okay. Oh, Haisilo Spina B'Yam. Yorshin also Bukhar B'Poshet Kecha. If the father had a boat at sea, the Bukhar would not get Bishna. That's a very big chiddush. The Ravid seems to agree. The Ravid says based on some Sugyan Erchen. Sugyan Erchen we had on the sheet yesterday, we won't look at now. There are those that suggest, that the Ravid suggests that Rambam got it from the Sugyan Erchen. How exactly he got it from the Sugyan Erchen is not entirely clear. Perhaps at some point we'll discuss that. Why in heaven's name would this boat at sea not be called Muchzak? After all, an animal in pasture, the Gemara indicates that that's 100% Muchzak. So boat at sea, why should it be any different than an animal in pasture? Also, the animal in pasture is not sitting in my house, not sitting in the barn, but nevertheless, as long as it's not stolen, as long as it's not something which causes it to be removed from my rishus, then it's going to be Muchzak. So one would say, who did a boat that's at sea. So why should a boat at sea be any worse? So it would seem the Mepharshei Rambam seem to assume that a boat at sea, there is a theoretical possibility that the boat will sink, and thus the father might not get that boat back, and perhaps that suffix that the boat is going to sink. Perhaps that's something that would consider it to be ro'inat muhsa. That's something that's a very big chiddush. And those that somehow that suggest the Rambam somehow got it from our discussion about muhkaras and miskaras. Maybe at some point we'll talk about that, but certainly not for now. Okay.
Is there not?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Is it also a suffix that the cow might run away in the pasture field? Is that so? Why would that be considered muhsak as well if the cow could run away?
Well, I guess the chances of an animal being at pasture coming back, we have to assume are better than an animal, better than the boat coming back. I think we might have mentioned the Rambam had a brother that died at sea. So sea travel way back when was a lot more dangerous. Would be interesting. Also nowadays, unfortunately, sometimes such things happen, but I would assume on a much less regular basis. It would be interesting to figure out whether Rambam would agree that nowadays Yam is considered to be muhsak rather than roy. Okay, moving on to halacha beis, and maybe we'll switch to today's. I recopied halacha beis. You know what? Maybe David, you'll take off what you put on over here, and I'll. Okay. How'd that happen? Kitzer, is this something which is somewhat legible? Let's try. Okay, it's yeah, I guess it's somewhat legible. The Maggid Mishnah less, but so Rambam passes the price of muchkeres and muskeres. Okay, which is odd for two reasons. Let's try today's. This is today's. You know what? Somebody put on today's Xerox Maggid Mishnah. I Xeroxed or re-copied the Maggid Mishnah. I think it's somewhat clear. You have to arrange to have some music as we listen to the yeah. Okay. So thank you very much. So this is pretty interesting. The Rambam Paskins, this din which we saw in the Brisa, which is odd in light of the fact that this Brisa is going with Shitas Rebbe and the Rambam, and we don't pass them like Rebbe. We don't pass them like Rebbe. So again, this Rambam, the Rambam would pass them with curse, that the Bechor gets Mishnayim is a Chiddush in light of the fact that this din is said within a Rebbe, and we don't pass them like Rebbe. The Ravid over here, in fact, says, Amar Avram, Zamachaber Posek Rebbe. Venadachak Rebbe. Rambam is passing like Rebbe, and we don't pass like Rebbe. Now, that comment of the Ravid, the fact that the Ravid is unhappy with the Rambam, that is understandable. The way, the formulation, the way the Ravid phrases his question is a bit strange. Why is it strange? It's strange because, after all, to say that which the Rambam writes in Halacha Beis is because he passes like Rebbe, the Rambam decided to pass like Rebbe, is a bit odd, because after all, the Rambam in Halacha Daled clearly passes not like Rebbe. The Rambam writes, after all, says the Rambam, if you have unripe grain that develops into ripe grain, right, wheat, if you have unripe fruits that develop into ripe fruits, the Bechor does not get Pishnayim. So to say that halacha base is based on Rambam passing like Rebbe is strange. Rambam says explicitly that he doesn't pass like Rebbe. Also in halacha aleph, he saw that he doesn't pass like Rebbe. He saw the Rambam says the Bechor gets Pishnayim Milva. Although I guess that's not something right because there is an opinion. Actually, because also in halacha aleph, you see the Rambam doesn't pass like Rebbe. According to Rebbe, the Bechor certainly gets Pishnayim in a Milva. So what the Rabbit should have asked is what the Rabbit should have attacked the Rambam Halacha Beis about is not saying, "Hey Rambam, why do you pass like Rebbe?" He should have asked that there is a sira within the Rambam. And on one hand, the Rambam in Halacha Dalet and Halacha Aleph by Milva, he says in Halacha Rebbe. And on the other hand, the Rambam in Halacha Beis, he seems to pass in the halacha, which the Gemara says is only true according to Rebbe. So the Rebbe should have asked a steer within the Rambam. He should have asked a steer within the Rambam. So our problem with Rambam is that the Gemara indicates that only according to Rebbe does the Bechor Rabbosai. I realize the first part of our discussion was confusing. This part of our discussion is certainly a lot less. Okay. Whoever scribbled on the blackboard should for homework, right? I will not scribble on the Rebbe's blackboard. Okay, yes, sir. So just to be aware that I think that anybody that scribbles that appears on the board. So please, whatever doodling you want to do, so do somewhere else. So the Gemara indicates, and the Gemara had said in the beginning of Tov Chav Dalet that the brisa that says the Bechor gets Mishnayim, the brisa that says the Bechor gets Mishnayim is according to Rebbe, and the Rambam, after all, says that we don't pass like Rebbe. So why is the Rambam passing the sin the Bechor gets Mishnayim in the para? In the Mukhkaras and Muskaras. Right? That's the problem which we have. And similarly, why is the Bechor get Pishnayim in the Yolda? Okay. So here, the first approach, the approach that we'll deal with today is the following. Like good Jews, let's first strengthen the question. The problem with the Rambam is twofold. The problem with the Rambam is the Gemara indicates that only according to Rebbe does the Bechor get Pishnayim in the Sheva Sheshivchun Chasam Lachans Misaviem, and the Rambam indicates would seem to indicate that even according to Rabbanan, that's the case. So Rambam is against the Gemara. And the Rambam also, Misavara is difficult, because after all, what difference is there between a unripe grain developing into grain that the Rambam indicates the Bechor does not get Vishnayim, and Ubar that is born that the Rambam says that the Bechor does get Vishnayim. Right? So the Rambam is against the Gemara because the Gemara says that only according to Rebbe the Bechor get Vishnayim in the V'yolda, and the Rambam says Rambam Pasuk Rabbanan seems to indicate according to Rabbanan the Bechor will get Vishnayim. That's one question. Another question is a steer within the Rambam. On one hand, the Rambam says unripe grain that becomes into ripe grain, the Bechor does not get Vishnayim in that. On the other hand, he says that when an animal gives birth, the Bechor does get the Shnayim. Okay, so first let's deal with If it's a slug up Shiur question, please wait. If it's a question that you don't understand, so please ask now.
Can you just please explain the first point we raised with the Rambam, why it's difficult?
To accept that the Rambam in Halacha Daled sounds like Rabbanan. To accept that. Is that a yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Halacha Daled in clear sounds like Rabbanan. It says, Ein b'chor notel pishnayim. Okay. Does the Gemara indicate that according to Rabbanan, a b'chor indicate that according to Rabbanan, b'chor would or would not get pishnayim in the blood?
You would not.
Would not.
That's good.
How does the Gemara indicate that? Because the Gemara says, Hamani
Rebbe.
Rebbe. Indicating according to Rabbanan, b'chor would not. So if the Rambam paskins and al-Chadal like Rabbanan, then how come you said the Beis, the Bechor would get Pishnayim in the blood? That's question one. Question two, let's assume there's no such Gemara. The Rambam is just speaking out Misavara. Why would the Rambam distinguish between unripe grain that becomes ripe, the Bechor does not get Pishnayim, and a blood, the Bechor does get Pishnayim? The first question is from the Gemara. The second question is the Rambam himself. And as a general rule, whenever you see something strange in the Rambam, you have to figure out, is it strange, is a problem? Is it simply against the Gemara? Is there an internal steer within the Rambam? Over here, you have both problems. Okay. So over here, before we get to the internal steer within the Rambam, let's just deal with the Gemara. So we have the Magid Mishnah that takes the following position. And the Sma, others elaborate on this. The flow of our Gemara, as you remember, is the following. We have the original Brisa of B'chor Notel Pishnayim. Then we have the Gemara saying, who is the author of the Brisa? Rebbe. And then the Gemara quotes the Brisa in which the Machlokas Rebbe Rabbanan is stated. Following that, you saw that the Gemara quotes a statement of Rav Papa. What does Rav Papa say? Rav Papa says that in a tree that became thicker, their Rabbanan agree that the Bechor would get Pishnayim. Even though Rabbanan said Bechor doesn't get Pishnayim, but a tree that got thicker, the Bechor would get Pishnayim. Or some cases, wherever it comes to Rabbanan, the Bechor would get Pishnayim. There are certain cases, though, that there's going to be a machlokas, such as fruits that are totally unripe, grain that's totally unripe, that then becomes ripe. Then there's going to be a machlokas. Now, the Magid Mishnah suggests that once Rav Papa tells us that there are certain cases where Rabbanan agree, at that point, we no longer have to say that the Brisa of Mucheres Muskeres is only true according to, please help me, Rebbe.
Rebbe.
Only true according to Rebbe. We then have the ability to say that the Brisa is going to be true even according to Rabbanan. Rav Papa, after all, is Mechadesh, that there are certain cases of Shevach Sheshivchun Chasam Nachem Yitzaviem that Rabbanan agree. What's that example? Dikla v'olive, a decal that becomes thicker. their Rabbanim will agree the Bechor gets Bishnayim. There are certain cases where the Bechor will get Bishnayim according to Rabbanim. And once Rav Papa's Machadesh that, then we no longer have to say that the price of Bechor and Muskeres is only true according to Rebbe. So the Gemara originally did say that the price of Bechor and Muskeres, Rov Ba'af V'Yolda, is only true according to Rebbe. But we only said that when we initially thought there are Rabbanan hold that in all cases of Shevach Lach Misavim, the Bechor doesn't get Pishnai. We originally thought that the Brisa says that according to Rabbanan, the Bechor never gets Pishnai by any Shevach Lach Misavim. And thus certainly Bechor and Muskeres will only be true according to Rebbe. Won't be true according to Rabbana. But Rav Papa's Machadesh, there are cases where Rabbanan agree. Tikla v'aleph. And thus, we have the ability to say that Para V'Yolda will be like, although this is a big jump, that Para V'Yolda will be like Tikla v'aleph, like a tree that got thicker, which case the Bechor gets the Shnayim. After all, the Rambam says, Rambam passes like Rav Papa, right? Iyun katan shegada nasa abe. That the Rambam says the Bechor will get a Pishnayim, and a Par V'Yolda is just like that. Now that's a chiddush that we'll discuss in a bit. Perhaps whether Par V'Yolda is like Dika V'Aleph. One might have said that Par V'Yolda is more similar to unripe grain becoming ripe grain. But the Rambam will hold that Par V'Yolda is like Dikla V'Aleph. So in summary, does the Gemara say that only according to Rebbe the Bechor will get Bishnayim Muchkares and Muskeres? Does the Gemara say that? Yes. But that's only the beginning of the Amud. By the end of the Amud, that changes. The end of the Amud, Rav Papa tells us there are cases where Rabbanan agree. And we could suggest that this is one of those cases. There are those that build upon that. Oh, I'm so sorry, Rebbe. Just another minute. Those that build upon that and say the following. That one could read the Gemara in a slightly different fashion. And that is, one could understand that when the Gemara says, Manu Rebbe, the Gemara is asking a question. Who is this according to? Is it only true according to Rebbe? To which Rav Papa says, no, it's even true according to Rabbanan. The Gemara itself didn't definitively state this is only true according to Rebbe. The Gemara just asks, is this only true according to Rebbe? And the Gemara says, no. Rav Papa tells us it's even true according to Rabbanan. Okay, this is something which requires more explanation, more discussion. I guess we'll leave this. Have a wonderful, wonderful Shabbos. Have a peaceful Shabbos, a Shabbos of good news, Shabbos of Besoros Tovos, of great Kavanah, Shabbos of using our time well, and Bezrat Hashem B'li Neder, Ramban tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock, Israel Standard Time. Thanks so much, Rabbi Osai. Have a wonderful day.